Hello to you ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the world of Elin. I'm glad you joined me here today because I was just about to drink from this amazing looking polted well. You may ask yourself, why would you do such a terrible and reckless thing? You see, in the world of Elin, this is not necessarily a terrible action. This may actually provide us a lot of interesting benefits and drawbacks, so please ignore the fact that I'm confused and very sick, because this is not important. What is important is that we are gobbling this entire well in one sitting, and you will just witness in a very second as we fall unconscious numerous times that we, as a matter of fact, managed to dry it out. Not only that, but in the very process, we managed to acquire a lot of negative mutations. Who would have guessed? But don't worry, there are also some positive mutations. And it's just by a sheer chance that I was so terribly unlucky. But don't you worry, because you don't have to be like me. Today I will show you a way in which you can sort of force the system to only provide you positive mutations, and not only that, but also you can sort of transpose them to your companions in order to make their stats even higher. So, today we are talking about mutations, as you can imagine. I just want to emphasize the point that at least in the language of the game, it seems that mutations and disease are two different things. Disease seems to be sort of accumulated every year or year and a half or so, and basically it's just by sheer accumulation of ether particles in your body. Not only that, but also you get hit by those ether attacks and you get ether disease. Mutations, well, you usually get them from drinking from some very suspicious sources of water, that being a polted well, or fountain, maybe a raw sewage even. Who would do that, huh? Well, so if you do that, you have a chance of acquiring a mutation. As mentioned previously, these could be either good or bad, whereas ether disease seems to be, at least in my experience, providing you both positive and negative benefits, sort of in the same trait, let's say. In this specific case, though, they are just negative, and not only that, but as you can see, my arms are thin, and it provides me -3 strength. But everyone is frightened when you talk. Well, that's kind of interesting, because you'll see this actually is a Husk Voice 2, which means it sort of leveled up or devolved twice. So these can also level up. So in case of this strength, we could get, let's say, -6 strength, -9 strength, and so on. I think it only levels, at least in my testing, 3 times, or levels up 3 times, or devolves 3 times. But yeah, I mean, more often than not, you do want to have some positive effects. So how do we go about this? Well, obviously you can save scam your way through, and you will eventually just receive not only a positive effect, but the very positive effect you want. There is a better way, at least in my experience. So you see, the season of winter is over already, at least here on my playthrough. But I did manage to acquire a lot of those handful of snows. As I have explained in one of the previous videos, whenever there is a winter and your residents are walking on the snow, they will engage in a little bit of a snowball fight. So you can basically just throw one of these snowballs back at them, if you do manage to hit them actually. I could swear you can hit them, but well, I am not just very good at throwing. But oh yeah, you can make them wet. Who would have guessed, by throwing one of those snowballs? But there is a far more interesting use to them, and this is the very fact that they are classified as potion. This basically means that if you utilize them on the meal and grind them together with a leaf, you will receive an empty potion flask. You can obviously use it on the potions you get in the dungeons, but the general idea is that we want these empty potion flasks, or potions as it's called in the game. Why do we want that? Well, this is because you can basically just grab these and walk over to any sort of water source and just gather them up. Gather as many of those potions as possible. As you see, as you sort of grab them from the source of water, they are identified, but because I have a skill in appraising, let's just highlight this up, it's right here, we do manage to identify this. This is the skill, by the way, that you can get from a Tinkerer's Camp, and as soon as you unlock it, your character will be able to identify most of the items in time, You obviously need to sort of level it up to identify more challenging items, let's say. But it is sort of one of the possibilities. And as you sort of identify the items, this skill will grow. So let's just have a little bit of a walk. So we will identify all the items in our possessions. So see, it sort of happens with time, and now everything is identified. Not only that, but also our appraising skill just increased quite significantly. But as you see, we managed to produce quite a lot of potions, and this is even before they introduced alchemy into the game. So you can already start being an alchemist, even without the actual mechanic being properly introduced. So why is this an interesting method? Well, this is because not only you can get lots of interesting potions this way, so you see a potion of mutation, this is the one we actually want for now, and also a potion of cure mutation. So this is already great, because those are the two potions I was counting on. But you can also utilize the very same method I showed you initially to get those empty potions back. So you can basically just reroll the entire try to get even more of the potions you were hoping for. Obviously, you can also save scum and just, hopefully get more potions you want this way. But, it is a bit of a time-consuming process, but you basically don't even lose those potion bottles. Why is this great? This is great because you can get one of the mutations as you drink a potion of mutation. Quite self-explanatory, isn't it? The only problem around this is that you will either receive a positive or a negative mutation. But thankfully, if you combine it with a pot of water, not in this sort of specific case. So yeah, let's just talk quickly about pot of water, just so you know what I'm hoping to achieve here. You can get these from Shrine of Thing. You will encounter them very often in the dungeons, and they will basically just drop you a pot of water. By themselves, they're not extremely useful, at least in my experience. But if you conjoin them with an altar, specifically an altar of a god you worship, you will receive a blessed pot of water. This is already extremely useful item, and this is because you can bless your items. Usually the equipment will receive a little bit of a boost, but also some unique items will start to work in a little bit of a different way, sometimes even more of a positive way, let's say. So, as you can imagine, if we combine this with a potion of mutation, we do get a blessed potion of mutation. And this is already fantastic, because if we drink this, it will basically just provide us a positive mutation every single time. Also just, a bit of a side note, if you do bless your potion on an altar of a god you don't worship, you will receive a cursed pot of water. And if you blend it together with with a potion of mutation, it will be a cursed potion of mutation, and will always give you a negative effect. So if you want to mutate one of your companions beyond imagination into a terrible abomination, well, you know how to do it now. Anyway, point being, why is this a good thing? Of course, if you play on Iron mode, this is already great, because you can always be sure that you will receive a positive mutation, but it is not that useful, let's say, as compared to just a normal potion of mutation, if you can just save scum. But this is great, because normally you are not able to, well, you can yourself drink from a well or a fountain, but your companions won't do it, at least in my experience. What you can do, though, you can give them one of these potions. So just let's investigate one of my companions, and as you see, she doesn't have any mutations at the moment. But as we provide her a blessed potion of mutation, she already managed to mutate. That's a quick process, isn't it? And as you see, now she has additional dexterity. So you can make your companions even stronger this way. Also, a side note, just in case you didn't know, if you do have, let's say, an interesting item, an interesting skill book, you can also grab them and gift them to your companions. This way, they will learn the very skill. They do need to read it first, and see, hopefully she already has it now. So as you see, this was a very rare book, Eye of Mind, and now she has this skill. You can teach your companions any skill like this, and as they basically just utilize the related well, they sort of engage in related actions, they will level it up together with you. So this is just a bit of a side note there. But this is not everything in regards to just, let's say, potion mancy. As you see, the well is dried up. This is not a great condition. And we have lots of potions we sort of don't want. We don't want to get those empty potion flask. We can do one more thing. A bit of a illegal potion mancy, you know. You just throw all of them into a well. And this is how you can very quickly receive a very interesting polluted well with a lot of sips that can be taken. So basically what I'm trying to say, a lot of people do utilize those wells in the cities, but they do have a limited amount of sips you can take from them to either get a positive or negative effect. You can make a well in your own base and you can just throw lots and lots of potions there. And now we can just, you know, keep sipping and start to get some very crazy effects, as I sort of did at the very start of the video. So okay, this is everything in regards to mutation, but there is just one more thing I wanted to talk about. Of course, yeah, you can cure those mutations with a potion of cure mutation, and also from what I've seen, there is also a spellbook of mutation, and I feel there was also a spellbook of cure mutation. I'm not a mage though, so I cannot really vouch that it works, but I imagine it does. Point being, I want to talk about one different thing now that I found extremely interesting. So you might have seen in one of my previous videos that I've acquired this statue of Earth. And the interesting thing about this, it is the very fact that it is made out of gold, as you can see. The interesting thing is that as you find them in the wild, they are usually made out of this specific material. Not only that, but you can also have a very unique interactions with them, in a sense that you can use them. So let's do just that. And as you see, this statue now is no longer made out of gold. Now it's back to onyx, like all the other statues I managed to haul back to my base. I cannot believe it happened. God damn, not again. Now it's made out of onyx. And not only that, but it also provided us some unique effect. Mica material hammer. Initially I did sort of know that it works like this. I just sort of absolutely neglected it because I thought, okay, this is not very useful. And this was because I was hoping to get a high worth out of this statue, and now it is no longer as valuable as it basically just is an ordinary statue made out of onyx. So I was just banking on the very fact that it was made out of gold. This hammer, by the way, you can utilize on any item you have, or any statue even, and since it is a mica hammer, it will turn everything into mica. So as you see, I have this blessed hemp cloak here, and if we utilized a mica hammer on this, now it is a blessed mica cloak. And as all things made out of mica, it provides us a little bit of a luck bonus. This is great, but it is not necessarily something I wanted. One thing I sort of tried to inquire about was what are the other effects of those statues. And believe me or not, but I was genuinely just like walking all over the land and I couldn't find a single bloody statue. Thankfully though, I did manage to find even more interesting item, arguably far more interesting item. And you know, there are basically all those shrines, all those statues, and they can provide you interesting things, as you know. And in my adventures, I managed to find a golden material hammer. This means that you can utilize it on any of those statues, and they will be gold. And this is fantastic, because not only they are worth much more, but guess what? They do get back those abilities. And this is, you know, a huge game changer, I say. So just to give you a little bit of an example, I feel like the Statue of Earth always provides you a hammer if you use it of some sort of material. The same thing happens to the Statue of Element. I feel like their materials are different though. So there is probably like a database for different sort of hammers that you can obtain from Statue of Earth and different sort of hammers that you can obtain from Statue of Element. Interestingly, from Statue of Harvest, you can get a skill book, if it's made out of gold that is, and you use it, you will receive a skill book that provides you additional feat points. For the Statue of Money, that's also quite interesting, and I cannot believe I only found out about it now, after I made a video about the gene machine, but it provides you a gene. it provides you a gene that gives you additional attributes, feat points, but it actually doesn't cost that much feat points to use. So that is quite good. Statue of the Wind and Statue of Healing, well, they provide you some items I don't know how to use, so I will just let you experience it by yourself. But, you know, every statue provides you a different thing. But for today, let's just focus on the Statue of Luck. So, as you see, we can just utilize it on our statue here. Now it is made out of gold. And let's use it. The Statue of Luck shines brightly. Mia, you found me. A Graceness of Goddess has been added to the key items. So some of you may know that some items you acquire in the game, you don't get them in your inventory. You do actually get them in your journal, in your logbook. And they are under the key items. So as you see, a Fragrance of Goddess. The soft remaining Fragrance of Goddess of Luck. It is believed to draw the Goddess of Wish. So this sort of implies that it is somewhat connected to the wish system in the game. I didn't quite know what it was all about until one of the viewers, Make I2867, thank you very much for just mentioning this, but there is a whole mechanic relating to wishes in the game. And as you can imagine, in order to utilize that, you need this Fragrance of the Goddess I just acquired basically from the statue. There is also apparently a Rod of a Wish. I don't know how to get it. Maybe it is just through the shops. Maybe it's just through the dungeons. I haven't seen one so far. But you basically just use it and you get your wish. And I'll just talk about like how you can use it in a very second. But the general idea with the Fragrance of Goddess is still very much related to wells. And it is that you have to either drink from a fountain or drink from a well. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed here that we will get an opportunity to see that, because the chance is not very high, let's say. I have tried it multiple times before. By the way, yeah, as some of you may know, I'm sort of doing all those videos in a single take, and I'm sort of hoping for the best. But yeah, I probably may need to utilize a little bit of editing here and there in the future, that is. But yeah, we got our wish. But just touching on this topic, I thought it's just more genuine, and like you can actually see what I'm sort of doing throughout the game like this, and if I utilize too much editing it won't be visible, but probably in the future I will utilize a little bit more editing, because in cases like this it is quite troublesome to get those random chances to pop up. But anyway, as we were drinking from a fountain and we have our Fragrance of the Goddess, we lost it now. It was removed from our key items, and the goddess responded, "What do you wish for?" There is, let's say, you might not know what to wish for initially, and it is quite a rare occurrence, so you probably want to know what are the good things to wish for. This is why I will leave in the video description a link to the wiki, to the specific article, so you can see what people do recommend to wish for specifically. I don't think all those items are quite useful, let's say, but you know, it will just give you a little bit of an idea so we can make the judgment yourself. As one of the viewers also who mentioned the whole mechanic to me, Make I2867, thank you very much once again, but one of the very useful items is Vindale Cloak. So you can basically just, you don't have to write the cloak, you don't have to write everything, but you can just wish for it, and as you do that, wait, Vindale, where is the Vindale Cloak? Am I dumb? What's happening? I cannot believe it happened. Okay, well, I need to do a little bit more tests on this. But yeah, it seems that it didn't quite work in this specific case. The point being, you can wish for a lot of items here. Actually, you know what? Let's just load this so we know what's popping. I probably misspelled it somewhat. Oh no, and now we'll have to just do it 5 billion times. The point being that you can wish for those. Oh, goodness me, it worked. Okay, so now just so I don't write something terrible, it was probably just Vindale Cloak. Let's do it. Is that how you write cloak? I bloody hope so. Yeah. Oh god. Oh god, the pressure. The pressure is so high. Okay, sorry guys. It's just me fucking around. Okay, now it was done correctly. Jesus, I cannot write in English, can I? Anyway, we got our Bean Dial Cloak, so you do have to write the whole thing, unless I did manage to misspell it initially. Yeah, apologies about this. Point being, it is quite useful because you can let's identify it so we know actually what it does. It is extremely useful because it grants you ether resistance, and an extremely high one. This essentially, in a tandem with using a health spring every now and then, will allow you not to get this ether disease too often. And it is generally just an excellent item all the way through. So yeah, I mean, this is one of the items, but you know there is more. There is more that you can wish for, and they're all fantastic. I definitely don't want to give you an idea because it is still quite a new system to me. But you can check out the wiki. It is just so you know that this system is there and that you can utilize those statues to your advantage and quite big time as well. So there is that. Also, yeah, one of the items I wished for straight away before the Vinda Cloak was a lightsaber. It is in the game, by the way, just saying, has 100% penetration, so quite good sword, let's say. But yeah, do let me know what you guys wish for. I'm quite curious what are the most useful items according to all of you. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you did manage to learn something. I was definitely yeah, it was definitely quite eye-opening experience to just sort of learn this whole mechanic with wells, with wishing, with a little bit of alchemy, and yeah, I mean, hopefully that's everything. That's everything I wanted to talk about today, and I didn't forget something extremely crucial.